It turns out that in Black Myth, Wukong, the love between Jubaji and Zizhuer is the most difficult to let go. One of them is a pig and the other is a spider. Although they are of different species, their hearts are connected. As for why this relationship is difficult to let go, we have to start from the beginning of the two. As we all know, before Baji was demoted, he was the Marshal Tianping, who was in charge of the sky and the 80,000 water gods in the heaven. He was free and happy all day long. At this time, when he was lying on the grass admiring the moon, he accidentally saw the moon goddess standing under the osmanthus tree. Tian Xingjun, at a glance, Tianping was attracted by the other party's beautiful temperament. He couldn't help but chase after the ethereal ribbon. However, such a fairy product was not something that a 5th level immortal could touch. Tianping was fascinated and confused. In a trance, he bumped into a fairy change in purple. She was a maid beside the moon goddess. Although she was not as beautiful as the moon goddess, she was also smart and lovely. Tianping's accidental collision made her heart beat instantly. Although the other party only had the moon goddess in her eyes at this time, in her heart, she was not interested in Tianping. Love has long overflowed the entire Milky Way. However, Tianping didn't care about it. He continued to look for the moon goddess, but when he looked up, he bumped into her nestling in someone else's arms. Tianping looked closely and found that the man was the emperor. Before he could react, a whirlpool suddenly appeared under Tianping's feet. In order to cover up a secret, the emperor not only demoted Tianping to the mortal world, but also made him fall into the animal realm. He turned his head into an ugly black boar. Fortunately, Guanyin Bodhisattva felt sorry for him, and Tianping was enlightened and followed Tong Monk to the west. When Baji passed by Pansy Cave, he saw 7 spider spirits bathing in the lake. The scene was so exciting that he instantly became lustful. However, when he wanted to go into the water to take advantage of them, he turned into a catfish. As soon as he swam over, he was stunned by the scene in front of him. The spider spirit was very happy. It turned out that it was the one drawn by the fairy Chang Yuan before. It turned out that after learning that Tianping was beaten down to the mortal world, he heard that Tianping had turned into a pig. Although he was afraid of spiders, he wanted to see his beloved again, Master. He also turned into a spider and went down to the mortal world and named himself Zizhuer. However, Baji sighed after hearing this. Even if he turned into a pig, there would be people who would not hesitate to change from a fairy to a goblin to come here. At this moment, he felt loved and felt the so-called happiness. The two of them fell in love and were quickly swept into the lake. They made love and were not happy at all.